Ooh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Failed Forward, the podcast for those of us wondering how the hell did I get here? My name is Rachel Durkan. I'm with Paradigm Marketing and Design. We are a web marketing, branding, and sales enablement agency that specializes in working with clients with a complex sale. So if you have a sales team that wants to have more qualified meeting and close deals more quickly, we can help you build a marketing to sales infrastructure to make that happen. And I am joined every week by my lovely and talented co-host, Donna Miller. Donna, will you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Rachel. I am Donna Miller. I am Chief Visionary Officer at C3 Workplace and founder of Donna Miller Business Growth Consulting, where for 30 years we've been helping companies to accelerate their growth by providing advisory and support services around finance, operations, and biz dev. Clients come to us because they know we're going to build integrated, simple, executable by you or by us systems that will allow them to scale their business. And I'm always delighted to be here. And in this episode, we get to introduce a really good friend of Rachel and I, Debbie Wolpov. Tell our audience about your fabulous self and what you do.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. These women I've known this month, it's 16 years that I'm in business.
Holy
16
moly.
years. And I think I know both of you at least 15, but over a decade.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I'm CEO of Merx Payments, the expert payment exchange. That phrase was coined by someone at Paradigm Marketing and Design. I've been just trying to help my clients with electronic payments. What does that mean? Everyone has these credit cards. They have to use them. They have to buy stuff. And the merchants need to take these cards any which way they can, online, in person, swipe, dip, link for payment on their invoice, etc. So I work with clients on what their needs are on the fastest, easiest, most efficient way of taking credit card payments. So making it go from my card, don't read the number, into their bank account. So helping them facilitate ease of transactions and getting money quicker, faster, and more reliable. And of course, securely. That's the number one name of the game these days.
And in my over a decade of watching you, Deb, I think one of the things that you've done so remarkably well is build a personal brand. You have people come to you because they know they can trust you. You're in a business that could be considered a commodity business, but you get your word of mouth referrals. You've grown this business from referrals and you walk through New Jersey and now the Florida area, everyone knows who Debbie Wolpov is. And it is really been inspiring to watch. So in this whole journey of success, we've leaned on each other. We've shared some horrible and some wonderful stories and some fun stories of mistakes. We were just talking before we started filming about what has been one of your biggest professional obstacles over your career. And you're incredibly successful, but where have you struggled along the way?
Well, I just have to thank these two women right here. Something unexpected happened along our journey. Not only were we business professionals, but we became friends and we became sort of a board of directors in our personal and professional lives, especially during the crisis of COVID. We were there for each other, but we were there for each other before, during, and since. So I have to thank you all. We all lean on each other because, you don't know what you don't know, right? And we all have different experiences. So it's interesting. My biggest obstacle happened November 2018. So I was in business for a relatively long time. I built a nice portfolio of clients, a nice monthly residual. I was volunteering a lot. And at that time, I was running the Morris County Women Business Committee. We had an event that day. I was going on stage and I received a call from one of my vendors where I placed all my business. Good news, bad news. We're buying you out. All those accounts are now no longer yours starting next month. You are starting in January from zero. We will pay you according to the contract. So I was compensated. However, those contracts were made when I had other friends in place. So I didn't need to just have a residuals. I was able to have expenses pass through. And so whole world changed. I spent really a month mourning the death of my business. And then I got my friends are here and kicked me right in the butt and said, what are you doing? So it was the biggest obstacle, but it was the best thing that happened. Why? Because I rebranded. I took that brand that you were just talking about, that I had spent so many hours building, my personal and professional brand, and I created my own business, my own name, my own marketing, and realized, to quote my friend Donna Miller, work smarter, not harder. So I had to pound the pavement because January 1st, I had 0 in sales and I had to scale up. I need a new computer. I need a new website. I need new marketing. I need new logo. I need new cards. I needed a new CRM, which Paradigms people helped me with. I just needed so many things, but I had years of experience and I had years of contacts. So if you pay it forward, sometimes you have to call in those little, favors and say, guys, I don't know how to do this without you. And thank goodness you were there. And so put that, business suit back on, my big girl panties. And I said, I've done this before. I can do this again. And I'm ready, ready, ready.
So what I'm hearing is, you had a contract that wasn't so great with a company based on a handshake and a relationship. They totally screwed you and left you with basically nothing except your personal brand, your contacts. And you realize the power of those two things in that moment.
That's why you're in marketing.
Let me just make sure I'm understanding.
Yeah. I was going to say that I was going to kind of amplify the same point a little bit differently. Is they might have taken everything from you, but they couldn't take the thing that was the most powerful, which is where we started this little conversation with your personal brand. They can't take the Debbie out of Debbie. And when we were kind of warming up for this call, one of the things we talked about, and I don't want to not, I want to make sure we capture this opportunity. The question we typically ask is, what's the best lesson? The lessons I've learned from you, Debbie Wolpov, you said your heart is too big. That's an asset.
It's also a liability.
It is. And I think that's the truth. Any asset, take it to extreme, becomes a liability. And as I've watched you in your career, all the volunteering you did. And I remember seeing you up at that podium the first time, and I'm pretty sure I could see your knees shaking from the back of the room. And now you command a room, so talk to us a little bit about how you came to realize that was your greatest strength, because I think it is for many of us.
Well, it's not easy. And you were your harshest critic, right? So you look at yourself in the mirror and you can say your affirmations, but if it's really not coming from your gut and you're like hesitating, you call on your friends. You call on your like-minded friends who would lift you up and make everything seem so reasonable and simple and break it down for you. Because sometimes, when you're in a darker place or you're slightly, you're how can I do this again? And you're doubting yourself. But all you have to do is reach out to your friends, your network, your family, and you're like, you've done this. There's nothing that you can't do because you've already done this and you've had these relationships, and that's who you need to call upon. And I'm very proud to say that after my 2-year non-solicit was up, I got my big clients that I went after again, and they all came back. And I was recently with a client, one of my largest clients. He was talking to someone that I was with, and he said, it is a commodity, but I call her, I email her, I text her.
It's handled.
If she doesn't call me back or I don't hear from her in 10, 15 minutes, she might have a broken leg and be in the hospital. He said the customer service aspect is the difference. And that goes with my personality and my brand and I am a very passionate person. And if I agree to do something, or if I'm working for someone, or if I'm volunteering, whatever I'm doing, it's to the 110%, and I just can't help myself.
So let's talk about that pendulum for a second, though, because I've been having this conversation a lot with my own team. And I heard two key things. One, Deb, you are the epitome of a giver. You give, and you never ask for anything in return. And I think that's one of the reasons that you have a brand as strong as it is. On the other hand, what I've learned is we need to surround ourselves by like-minded individuals to lift us up. But what's interesting is there's different types of people in the world. There's people who are intrinsically motivated, who are going to give no matter what, or who are going to do their best no matter what, because it's an internal motivator. And then there's others that need structure. And those two parties can clash, right? Because if you're aligned with somebody who gives, and somebody else who's willing to take, that can create disruption in an organization, disruption in a networking group, disruption in a mastermind group. So how do you deal with that?
Well, not always so well. As you know, in the past, the return on investment for some of my volunteering if you had to add up the hours and pay me a salary, didn't really return
less than
what
minimum
I
wage.
needed to on a monetarily basis. I am interested in always learning and growing. And so I might not have gotten, 10 fantastic clients or two and lead to this type. But what I did take away was knowledge, whether it's knowledge on that person's business, whether it's knowledge on dealing with difficult people, whether it's, just navigating the ups and downs of whatever situation there is. So for me, when you're a student of life and business and you're always striving to do better, if I waste a few hours here and there, it's really not wasted. It's an investment in me. It's an investment in you. Obviously, there are people that really can take advantage. And sometimes, if you can see it, hopefully your friends or your associates can see it and say, hey, this is a one-way street. But I'm a believer that there's a worldwide favor bank, you put it in or you take it out. And so it depends on your needs.
That's really true, though, because I think that if you called anybody in your phone bank and said, I need a favor, I don't think anyone would say no to you. So there's something to be said in that bank that you've built that couldn't be monetized for a very long time.
I completely agree. So Deb, looking back, and the time always goes by so quickly on these podcasts, and we're bumping up against our time. If there was one thing you could do differently or change, what would it be?
Our friend Amy Avery, what did she say? She said, you focus on the past, you get depressed. You focus too far in the future, you get anxious. You need to be present. So I can reflect and I could say, that month in December 2018, I didn't handle it well at all, right? But I gave myself a deadline like I have with every setback in my life. My husband had we had a huge financial setback in 2008. I gave myself 5 minutes every day to cry. And then after that year was up, it sort of coincided with me starting my own business and getting into this, right? So it's like we could focus on what brings us down, or we can use that and propel us further and farther into success, whatever that success might be. You know, maybe it's just getting out of bed. Maybe it's not crying anymore, right? But to focus on the past, it's only to learn from your mistakes so you can fail forward, right? And I found that those downs were low, but the highs were so much higher.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that why we're on this earth,
Mhm.
right? To feel everything.
Mhm.
And that experience, if we didn't experience those lows, we wouldn't know how great those highs feel. And so I guess
I agree. And I think the longer you're at this, the less impact the highs and lows have on you, because you know the low is going to end and you know the high is going to end. So I think for me, I agree with that, Deb, and that keeps me a little bit more rooted in the present. So Deb, before we wrap, how does our audience find you?
Oh, that's easy. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And Merx Payments. I could put my information in. I'm on LinkedIn. My email is dwolpov, just like my name. I'm sure it will be on here at merxpayments.com. Merx is MERX and payments with an S.com. Merx means merchant in Latin. So I'm your payment expert whenever you need, and feel free to reach out to me, email me, call me. My number is available almost 24/7 because, as I alluded to when we started, sleeping is not it doesn't come as easily as it should and as soundly as it should. But that too shall pass, and it's all good. So my phone number, if you'd like, is 201-538-6014. You can call me, text me, email me, or check out my website that was designed by a member of Paradigm Marketing and Design. So Merx Payments.
Well, thank you, Deb, so much. I love being around and soaking up your wisdom. And until our next episode, we hope that you will embrace failing forward. There's so much to be learned from it. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you. I don't want this to end. I did working with you.
I'm sorry. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.